Hello and welcome to another video by me, Dr. John Bigger. I am a politics tutor specialising in A-level government and politics, and this is my free poll watch for October 2025. There are a lot more videos at my Patreon site. Please get involved, sign up. If you sign up in the early part of October, you get your first month for free. And there's lots of videos there to help you get through your A-level in government and politics. I've got a very good success rate in my tuition, and this is a way of getting some of those hints and tips without actually going through the full process of one-to-one tuition. These videos will help you at a reduced rate. So please take a look at them. What I want to do this month with my poll watch is take a look at Westminster. Of course, I always take a look at Westminster, but I want to take a look at the current polling for the Scottish Parliament elections next year, next May 2026. They will give us a hint at what might happen at that devolved election. Of course, remember that Scotland, for the Scottish Parliament, they use the additional member system, AMS. If you don't know what that is, you can always ask me, and I'll do a video. I'll do a Q&A video on that if you want. And there will at some point be a video on my Patreon site explaining the various electoral systems. In any case, there isn't one yet, but I will take time to explain it if anybody needs to understand it better. It's split into two different votes. There's a constituency vote, which uses first past the post, and that is the poll for this. And what you can see here, particularly if we take a look at the line here, this is the Reform, this is the Reform UK line, and you can see how much it has risen, overtaking the Conservatives in February this year, excuse me, and now just ahead of Labour. So there's been a dramatic change on that front. There's also been a dramatic change on Labour's side of things as well. They have tumbled down since the last general election. Excuse me again. Now bear in mind that for the Scottish Parliament elections, the most recent Scottish Parliament elections, the SNP did very well. They did not do so well in last year's general election for Westminster, but now things have changed quite dramatically, and I'm expecting, at least for the SNP, a similar result from last time around, where they did very well. I think the poll is suggesting that they are going to do very well first past the post. They got a lot of their seats that way last time, and I'm expecting the same again. Whether they'll get as many seats, I doubt, but they are still doing very well for sure. But we can also expect Reform to do well. They might not be doing as well in the constituency votes as we might find in the regional vote, which we're going to come and have a look at in a while. Now, the reason I say that, because the polls are actually quite similar across constituency and regional. The regional vote is used to give parties top-up representatives to make it more proportional. First past the post is not a proportional system, and what this poll indicates is that the SNP will do better than their current kind of 35% of the vote. They will likely get more seats than that warrants. The other parties will struggle to get as many seats or even remotely close to them. But let's take a look at the regional polling. And you see it's not that different, although Reform are in third place rather than second place. I would not expect Reform to make many seats at a constituency level, but their polling indicates that they're close to 18% at the moment. You'd imagine them to have 18% of the seats if it's truly proportional. So they're going to do a lot better here, as are Labour. I think what it indicates, and it's very difficult to make a projection, especially as we're so far away from the election itself, but I think what it indicates is that we are heading again for a hung Scottish Parliament, and the potential of a coalition, although it's difficult to know exactly who the SNP would form a coalition with. And in any case, they have at times been able to run things as a minority government. They've also run things in with support from the Green Party. Again, the Green Party is looking like it's on for a good result. They won't win any constituency seats, but they will get some top-up seats that might make them the kingmakers. The Liberal Democrats also are in that sort of position. The troublesome thing for the SNP is that these parties that it might want to forge a relationship with in government are all pro the Union. They are pro the United Kingdom sticking together. Apart from the Green Party, the Green Party in Scotland is behind the idea of another referendum for independence. So it kind of makes them the best option, really, for the SNP. But obviously, once the arithmetic of that Scottish Parliament is known in May, we will know more. The crucial point, though, is the rise of reform. It is the crucial point everywhere in our politics. The impact of it is unpredictable. The effect of it is difficult to measure in terms of seats, because it's hard to compare it to anything else, because we've not really seen such a dramatic shift in our two-party system. And nowhere is this more evident than at Westminster. So let's take a look at that while we can as well. And when I did a video a month ago, Reform were beginning to go back down in the polls and Labour had stabilised a bit, but now it is very different. Reform are on over 30% of the vote. The Conservatives are continuing to go down at a lesser rate than they were, and Labour are going downwards as well. We are currently in the conference season. Whether the conferences have any impact, we will have to see, but let's not forget that Labour have had an awful lot of troubles over the last few weeks. The inevitable demise of Angela Rayner as Deputy Leader of the Labour Party and Deputy Prime Minister and Housing Secretary and all the rest of it prompted a perhaps more widespread reshuffle than we were expecting, although when I say it was a surprising level of changes, it was also mainly the same people being moved into different posts. And we've got a leadership election deputy leadership election coming up in the Labour Party. We don't know whether that is going to be helpful for the government or not helpful for the government. Often what you find is that the party membership go with the most left-wing option for deputy leader. We'll have to see whether that happens. Bridget Phillipson seems to be the candidate that the government, the high-ups in the Labour Party want. She's Education Secretary at the moment. I would imagine she becomes Deputy Prime Minister if she wins. And Lucy Powell, who was sacked in the reshuffle as Leader of the House of Commons, is her rival. And if she wins, everyone will be expecting her to become Deputy Prime Minister. But Keir Starmer doesn't have to make the Deputy Leader Deputy Prime Minister. It would be odd if he didn't. But she is the most the left-leaning candidate, I guess we could describe her as. And I'm not sure that it's really that much difference between the two of them, to be honest. But there we go. That is those are the two options, and whichever one is chosen will there will be repercussions. There always are repercussions with political decisions, and this is a decision that's out of Keir Starmer's control. He will be given a deputy leader who's elected. He won't be able to get rid of them from that position unless they do something like Angela Rayner did. So there's been a lot of issues going on in the country. The party conferences and that leadership election might change the fortunes of the government. There are things down the line coming up, like the budget, which will also potentially harm them, potentially benefit them, depending on what's in it. And meanwhile, the obsession with immigration, which is now really a global obsession with immigration, continues. We've had also linked to that the biggest far right demonstration the country's ever seen. We've got a country that is not at ease with itself, I feel, and the Reform Party is offering quite straightforward solutions, which aren't really policies. They are more like slogans, and people are warming to them because they promise something that those people want. They are now at a rate in the polls where if there was an election tomorrow, they would potentially have a majority. Some people are predicting a majority, some people are predicting a hung parliament still, but we will perhaps come to that in my Q&A video, which will hopefully be available on the 15th of October. And again, that will be a free video because somebody has asked me whether Reform are on track to form the next government, and I would like to give more time to that idea in a special video. So I will that will be one of the things I look at in my Q&A coming up in the middle of the month. So there we go. Really troublesome for Labour. I think this is one of their lowest scores ever. It might be their lowest score ever. The Conservatives are also doing terribly, and we are in uncharted territory, I would say. Hopefully somebody can make sense of it all. Right, okay, happy studying, and I will see you another time.